Hey, and welcome to part 3 of Cricut for Beginners. So today we're going to share how to make shapes in Cricut Design Space, or how to use shapes to make objects. And that's how I started out. So I've been using Cricut for such a long time, and in the beginning, I mean, I am no artist, but I now draw my own images in Procreate. But I started out by thinking, right, how can I make those? And I have got a very creative mind, as you are, because you're obviously here. And I started by using shapes and combining shapes to make objects. So stuff like, I don't know, this umbrella would be quite easy to make out of shape. So I'm going to show you a few simple things. We looked at how to make a flower in part 1, and we're going to make a tulip today out of shapes. It's going to be a multi-layered tulip, but we're also going to make an umbrella, and we'll have a look at some other images as well. And it's all about using your mind and looking at an object as a shape rather than an object, and thinking, right, well, how could I use shapes to create that? I did have a comment in TikTok this week, and somebody said, well, why do you need to make the flower? Just use one of the flowers. The reason I do this is because I want everything to be my own. I don't want anyone saying I'm using other people's files to create content. For you, it's about creating and designing something from scratch and be able to be your own designer and not being reliant on what's available. Also not having to pay for what's available. I mean, the latest update in Cricut, it's like every time you upload something, it's giving you options to buy. So it's sort of nickel and diming you a bit. And if you're happy with that and you just want to keep buying, that's fine. You go ahead and do that. But if you don't, these strategies, and it's just about how to use your mind in a different way to create what you want out of shapes. And you know what? Most things are achievable, and it's all about starting off with your basic shapes and building up from there. So we're going to make a little basket. So we'll do a few things and see how you get on. So let's get started. We're going to start by creating a new canvas and then just getting rid of the paid images. They pop up a lot at the moment. And I've got my canvas blank so that there's no shapes behind. I like to work like that. And then I'm going to upload a circle, and I think I'm going to go for a square for now. I can just keep adding to it, but the 3 shapes are the ones you want to use. So get my square. It's driving me mad, that panel. Now I'm going to unlock the circle. So at the top, you just click on the little padlock and it will unlock your circle. You can drag it to whatever shape you want. And then I'm going to get a square and make it bigger. We're going to just start with our umbrella. It's so easy. So change the colour. If I find working in 2 colours, it makes it much easier. And then I'm going to slice the square out of that circle. So I'm just over half. So there you go. There's the top. What we're going to do now is we're going to start to build I don't know what they're called, the scallops of the circle. And this is so easy because all I'm going to do is keep duplicating and lining up my circles. So I can duplicate that again, just grab them both to duplicate them. It makes them quicker. So I think 4 circles is going to work. I just need to adjust it slightly. And we're going to line them up, and you can see already the shape is taking place. It's just mad. So now I'm going to select all those circles. I'm going to go up to the align tool, and I'm just going to align them vertically. Then I'm going to select them all and weld them together. I'm just going to get one of those so that I don't have to open the shapes bar again. And weld. And there you go. So that's the start of my umbrella. Now I'm going to hover the back over and just make sure that it fits properly. So make any adjustments that I need to make so that I'm going to unlock that and just drag that in there. It's all about unlocking shapes and playing. I'm going to slice that out, and there's the top of my umbrella. And that was so easy. So now we're going to make the stick of the umbrella. And to do that, we're going to unlock the square. So we're going to go to the top, click on the little padlock, and just drag it into a long shape. That's going to be your handle. But I'm going to pop it up there because you always have the little bit at the top, don't you? And drag that down. And you just want to get the right thickness. So it's just a bit square at the top. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to try and offset. And it's just trial and error. It's brilliant. Still not round enough for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into shapes because there's a rounded square. So that might just be a little bit softer. So grab that, again, unlock it. And all I'm going to do is now drag that into shape and make my umbrella stick with that. So super fussy really, but you could have gone with the first one, but it's all about playing and trial and error. So pop that into shape there. And now we're going to select both layers and weld. And there's the start of an umbrella. So if you're doing a beach parasol, that's it, you've got it. But we want to do an umbrella, so I'm going to make a handle for it. So I'll just change colour of one of my circles. And I'm going to drag one over the other. And I might just resize it a bit. And what I want is a crescent shape. I might unlock it and just drag it in a bit. And you can see what I'm doing now. I'm making my handle shape and I'm going to slice it out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this on there. And it's not just right. Again, unlock. And unlocking enables you to warp images. So if you can warp them, then you can make them fit better. And what you want is this to overlap and you want it to be seamless. So when it cuts, you've no jagged edges or bits sticking out. So I'm going to position it all together, then I'm going to weld it. So just select the two layers and click weld. But first I'm going to duplicate that handle. So weld that together, and you can see that I've got a little bit there that I'm just not happy with. So I'm just going to hover the duplicated image underneath, and that fits really well. So that gets rid of that edge. So once we select both the layers and weld those together, that will look so much better. So again, go to weld, and then all you've got to do now is get the pointy bit off of the top. So I'm just going to grab a circle or one of my scraps there and get rid of that. And now we're going to create some spots on the umbrella. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a print and cut version and a cut version. And again, this is super easy. So go into your shapes, just get some more circles and shapes. I'm just going to grab a few because every time you open this, that blooming window opens. There you go, close that. And then I'm going to make some polka dots on this umbrella. I'm going to turn my umbrella pink. I've actually made it into, there you go. I'm going to change the colour of that dot. I'm going to make that into a print and cut. And I'm just going to go into advanced colours and choose a colour for my spots for my umbrella. And I'm going to keep duplicating them and just hover them about. And this is how you'd create a really super easy print and cut umbrella. So you've got, I'm going to duplicate that because I'm going to use that. Get another one of those. But before I flatten it, I'm going to just duplicate those dots. I'm going to weld them together, duplicate them. Then I'm going to move the umbrella back to this one. So these are now both set to print and cut. I'm going to select both and flatten. And that is a print and cut umbrella. Super easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these back to cut. Change the colour of one of them so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to hover the dots over there. And I'm going to slice them out. So select both the layers, right click, and then again down to the bottom bar and slice, and there you go. Now, if I wanted that to be a double layered file, all I've got to do is duplicate the umbrella and remove all the contours. So I've sort of worked backwards there, but that does work. And then I'm going to put that layer to the back, and I'm going to find that in the sidebar and change the colour of that umbrella. And there you go. So if you cut that in 2 layers, we've now got a 2-layered file. So you've got a cut version and a print and cut version, and they were super easy to make. Now we're going to make a really quick and easy basket. So I've got like this oval shape, and I'm just going to drag it so it's a little bit chunkier. And it's just the shape I've got in my mind. That's what I'm dragging it to. I'm going to duplicate that and put it out the way. And the only reason I'm duplicating is just so that I've got the shapes there at the side if I need them. Change the colour so I can see, because I'm working in 2 layers, and grab a circle. I'm going to unlock that and drag it. And I think that's what I want it to look like. So select both layers and slice. And there's the bottom of my basket. So now I'm going to make a handle. So again, super easy. I'm just going to do this by duplicating 2 circles. And then I'm going to unlock that and just drag it so that I'm inside the other circle and I can make a handle shape. Slice. And there's my handle. So again, I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to create an offset because it needed to be just a little bit chunkier. Drag that to there. And we just want to make it more of a horseshoe shape. So we're going to drag it in so it fits perfectly and aligns perfectly. Pull that down a bit there. Weld it together and we've got a little basket. So now we're going to make a cupcake. So we're going to go back into shapes and grab a hexagon. And the cupcake's so easy. So get rid of that. You don't need to buy those. You're going to make your own. So get your hexagon, I can't even say that, hexagon, and create an offset because you want it a little bit rounder. So there you go. Now we're going to slice the top off. We're going to make the bottom of the cupcake. And see, it's just about thinking about what shape is a cupcake. That's it. It's so easy. And there's your base of your cupcake. So we're going to do this cupcake with layers of icing, and we're going to make it so that we've got, like how you've got your crinkles in the base of your cupcake as well. And to do that, we're going to get a square, and yep, you guessed it, we're going to unlock it, and we're just going to grab it and drag it into a little line like this. Now you can do this so that they fan out, but I'm just going to do this quickly now and keep them all in a straight line. But yeah, if you alter them slightly, the angle, you can do them so that, which is what I've done on my cupcake that's free to download. I'm going to duplicate those. Won't let me grab hold of them. I'm going to put them all so that they all line up. And then we're just going to arrange them so that they're all... Oh, so we're not going to put them all together. Undo that. Go back into it. And align them. And they're perfect. So now, because we need to slice them out, we need to weld them together so they're all one image. So weld them together. Drag them over our cupcake base. Then I'm going to duplicate it and put one to one side just in case we make a print and cut. And I'm going to slice that. And look at that, you've then got your little shapes. And as I say, it would look better fanned, but for now, that's what we've done. So now we're going to start making our buttercream layers. It's like actually baking with shapes. I'm going to unlock this and I'm going to drag this rectangle shape. So we don't want it overlapping the lines behind. We're going to duplicate that because we're going to build the next layer. Duplicate again and just keep dragging them in. And positioning. Now select all. And we are going to duplicate that. I duplicate everything because I just think, oh, I might want to do something else with that in a minute. And weld. And look at that cupcake. It's brilliant. So what we want to do with that now, that's not welded the bottom on, so let's just re-weld that. There you go. Is I'm going to put a cherry on top. You can't have a cupcake without a cherry, can you? But I feel like it just needs a bit of texture. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make some texture. So this is going to be my back layer. So I've duplicated that and removed the contours. Send that to the back. And I want to make some ripples in my cream, so I'm going to move the back layer again, and I am going to squash down this circle, change the colour so I can see what I'm doing, and let's see if I can make it into a ripple. So what I need is for that to have the top bit cut out of it almost, so I'm just going to drag it under my circle. So send it to the back so that I can see the shape it's going to be, and now that I can see that, and I can slice it out. And once I've done that, I can unlock that again on the top and drag it so that I can see and position it where I want it to be positioned on the cupcake. And once you start building with shapes, it really, really is easy. It's just the first one you do, and then after that you can start to visualize. So I'm going to create a few more ripples, pull that over there again, and drag that. I'm going to try and drag it down just so it's a little bit chunkier, and slice that out again. And then we're going to just keep repeating that until we've got the 3 slices out of our cupcake, so it looks like a cupcake with ripples of icing sugar or cream on top. And now we've got a double layer cupcake made out of circles, an oval and a hexagon, and it was super easy. So I'm going to duplicate it now, and I'm going to flatten one of the layers, and then we've got a print and cut version, and we'll just select both of those and flatten. So we've got a print and cut version or a 2-layer cut file. And now we're going to make a tulip. So this is the last thing we're making, but just to show you the versatility of working with shapes. So that is the circle that I cut the bottom off, and I'm going to use that. So I'm just going to flip it. I always get this wrong. That's it. I'm going to flip it and then unlock it and just drag it, and that's going to make the center of my tulip. And then I'm going to get another circle and unlock that. That's already unlocked. And I'm going to make the top leaf with that. So drag that in, and then I'm just going to tilt it round. I'm going to colour it a bit darker so we've got a couple of colours. No, I don't like that yet. I'll colour that darker. Just drag it down so it's a bit of a darker shade. And I'm going to move the centre to the back. That's going to be the centre of my flower. And you can't always grab the arrows anymore, can you? If you can't grab the arrows, if you go to the top to the rotate tool, I'll just get my size. Yeah, sometimes you can get them, and they used to be really easy to grab, and all of a sudden they're not. It's like they're making it harder to design. But if you go to the top to the rotate tool and just keep clicking that, I'm going to go the other way, and that's going to create my shape there. Then I am going to duplicate that and flip it and pop it there, and just position those so that I've got a sort of flower shape. And again, I'm going to duplicate it because we might as well make a print and cut while we're doing this. Move those out of the way, and now we're going to make the stem of the flower. And this is easier than you think. So we're going to grab this semicircle, duplicate it, and I'm going to hover one over the other. Again, colour one. You just can't see if it's not coloured. So we may as well go for green. And once we've positioned them, I'm just going to drag it and then just slice it out. And what you're going to create is the base of a stem. I mean, how easy is that? It just looks like a flower stem, and it's a circle. So we'll just use those two. Just going to send that to the back so you can start to see your flower building up. And then again, I've got a little offcut there, but you could just cut you just cut it out of a circle and you would end up with that offcut. So we're going to try and shape it, turn it round again, and that's how you're going to create your petal. I'm going to fast forward that just because it took ages. But yeah, you've just got to use that rotate tool if you can't get hold of the arrow at the edge, which used to be so easy to pick up, but it's not always now. So when you've got that where you want it, you can just position it and duplicate it. And once they're in position, what we're going to do now is we're going to turn your petals green. So we can either do that from the colour bar at the side or at the top. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to just pick up those 3 layers and I'm going to weld that together because this is going to be a cut file. So we're going to have 3 different colours to layer up there. So I'll push that to the back. And there's that can be grouped together. And this is going to be a print and cut. So I'm going to go to the bottom right hand corner and flatten it. And there's a print and cut flower. And there you have it. We've made 4 different images just out of cutting and pasting shapes and slicing and welding. So you can create anything you want. It is all achievable. You just need to know how. So please, if you do have a go, just tag me on social media and show me what you make and let me know. And I really hope this has helped. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that and found it of some use. As I say, it's not for everybody, but building your own shapes is all about being your own designer and being in control of what you design. And that is what I love about designing. It's all about what I want to do, how I want to create, how I want it to look, not what somebody else says it should look like. Now, okay, I create files for you to download, so that's a bit hypocritical, because I'm saying here are my free files, and I've got so many free files for you to download. But it's nice to have it in your toolkit, isn't it, to be able to do these things. And you might think, okay, well, I want this umbrella, but I want it a little bit different. So you can use a shape to do that. And that's what today is about. So I hope you've enjoyed that and happy crafting.